Of the DICE committee, and today we'll be interviewing the student games in Jingle Mingle 2022. So let's go see. First up is FYP2, the final year project. Are you one of the developers? Would you mind giving an interview for our viewers? So first of all, could you introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your game and your role in it?
Yeah, hi, my name is Jonathan Chiu. So I'm a game designer in this project. So our game is called Escape from Baroa. It's a science fiction survival horror game set in a underground facility. So your job is to get out of the facility.
All right, so let's first start with the questions. So how did you come up with the initial concept of your game?
The initial concept of the game came from like old horror movies like Aliens and uh, I think that's mostly science fiction horror movies.
Okay, so let's take a look at the game. So while you're just talking to the camera, what do you think players will enjoy the most about your game?
Players will enjoy like if you're a science fiction horror film fans, then you enjoy like the atmosphere and then the the how the game is played like also the puzzle is also quite enjoyable in the game. So it lets the player figure out and to think like how to think through the game. Yeah.
See, so it's like you have to use your brain faster because survival.
Yeah.
I see. So with that said, how would you describe your experience in developing the game with your team?
The whole process is quite fun, but yes, there's some minor like how do you say it? Like some
Challenges.
yeah, some minor challenges
Unexpected.
like yeah, unexpected errors and stuff. So we managed to get through most of them, but we're still trying to polish the game as nice as possible.
Would you describe some of the challenges, those errors, or is it just mostly technical?
Some of them are communication problem. Like sometimes we don't communicate well, but we mostly get through those quite a lot. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's what I said. Any other biggest challenges besides communication, or do you think you enjoy making it with your team overall?
I quite enjoy making it with my team. Lah. So we're quite close together throughout the process of making the game.
Bonding through
Yeah,
misery.
kind.
All right. So thank you. So any final note for our viewers you want to say?
Feel free to come try our game at the lab here. Lah. Yeah.
All right. So what was your game called again?
Escape from Baroa.
Okay. So that's it from Escape from Boa. Please come and check out in Area 51 Lab. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next one. Oh, so first of all, could you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your game and your role in it?
Okay, so my name is Yip Zengyan, but you can call me Yippee. So my game is our game. It's called Blood Rush, and my role in it is the designer for the game.
I see. So first of all, how did your team come up with the initial concept of your game?
Okay, so like the initial concept of the game was, and to this until now, is like we kept the core concept, which was using your HP in exchange for abilities. So essentially, we wanted to like have different forms for like the using your blood, so your blood can change into different shapes, different forms. But we settled on like just using it for a few abilities, and yeah, but it still keeps the core concept of like you using your HP in exchange for abilities.
Is there any reason why you wanted to focus so much on the HP for the abilities?
I felt like it was like a fun concept to work with because like usually in most games you have like you use your MP, your mana points, or like let's say your energy. So I was thinking like why not just use your HP, the one that you already have, and see like how people like play around with it.
Make it the risk and thrill factor.
Yeah. So like if you want to play like more aggressive, then there's more risk, but then like there's more HP gain back or like etc etc.
I see.
Yeah.
So next up, what do you think your players will enjoy the most about your game?
I think they'll enjoy the platforming part of it, or yeah, the platforming, old school platforming, just like jumping around, getting used to like the mechanics of like getting around the area, the level. Yeah.
All right. So how would you describe your experience in developing Blood Rush?
I would say it's interesting because even though like I was the designer for this game, I was originally game tech. So like because like it's my FYP2, so like for the first 2 years, all I did was tech, and then I'm suddenly thrown into design, and I found it fun, and I also found it interesting. Also like opened my eyes a bit to like the design aspects of like game development.
Was it like super difficult translating from tech and design? Like how
Uh,
was it adapting to that?
I wouldn't say it's difficult, but more so just like needed to be more.
Learn more about
Yeah, I
this,
needed to
right?
learn more by myself. Just like watch a few videos, ask tips from our design lecturers like Mr. Shen.
Ah.
Yeah,
So, what do you think about your team's experience with it as well?
I would say it's also quite interesting because we're only a team of three.
Ah, wow.
Yeah, so like one for design, one for tech, one for art.
Wow,
So it's
okay.
like everybody is just in charge of their own thing, and I feel like it was a I would say it was a fun experience, because and also a more I would say for me a better experience than working in a large group, because you get to focus with just communicating with like two other people.
Much close knit.
Yeah, close knit, and ideas can be shared more. I would say better, because like it can be conveyed more easily. Because like you don't go through like one person to the other person.
Less things to filter. I
Yeah,
understand. Alright, so with that said, what were the biggest challenges in developing the game?
biggest challenges. I would say just overall trying to make the game look smooth, because we're working with like blood and also your HP. So like we wanted it to flow a bit nicer.
Uh,
Yeah, so I think that was like one of the more challenging parts. Another one was like just trying to figure out like using blood for abilities, like what can you do with it. Yeah.
it's a lot of factors running in every movement.
Yeah, because we wanted it to sort of like make sense, but at the same time like make it feel a bit like fantasy-ish. Yeah.
I get it. Interesting. So with that said, any final note to our viewers?
I would say come try our game if you're in the area, or like if you just want to drop by and just have fun, because I would say it's quite fun, especially with like all the other games around. So just come to the Jingle Mingle and give it a try.
Alright, that's about it from UP with the game Blood Rush. So please come and check out in Area 51 Lab FYP2. Alright, let's move on to the next game. Hi, so could I interview you about your game?
Uh, yeah, can.
Alright, so first of all, could you introduce yourself and then tell us a little bit about your game and your role in it?
Okay, so my name is Vincent, and I'm a game artist.
Ah,
That's my role. And for our game is the hack and slash, but adding a little bit of horror theme.
I see.
And what should I
It's
say?
alright.
And yeah,
So is there any reason why you wanted to add the horror theme into the hack and slash?
actually that is one of my teammates' ideas. Uh, the reason we make this hack and slash is because most of us want to make it, and we all like to play hack and slash. That's why we try to make the hack and slash kind of game. But then the horror theme is because like not much of the hack and slash game is horror. So one of my teammates having this kind of crazy ideas, and I don't know why. I don't God knows, and yeah,
You
that's how.
agree with those kind of crazy ideas? Like how hard was it?
Kind of, I agree with the ideas. Is is if we like teamwork together, actually the games kind of work. Actually. Yeah.
Could you ask like one of your teammates to play the game, show for to our viewers?
One of my.
Could you like play the game for a bit just to show our viewers? Alright, thank you. So she'll play and I'll see you something. Alright, so what do you think players will most enjoy about your game?
What do I think?
Like the experience or the art or maybe the gameplay like you mentioned?
It's very fast. That's all.
like fast
'Cause-
paced,
Yeah,
intense,
fast paced, very fast paced.
So I actually do also kind of like hack and slash. So what I do like about hack and slash is the challenge, like bosses and stuff, like how you have to adapt to the enemies movement. So is there anything like that in your game?
We have only like small creeps and some of the bosses, but we didn't have much time to implement the boss fight scene. Yeah, so we only have the boss scene, but we cannot fight the boss.
I see.
Yeah.
So how would you so how hard is the mobs then? How would you describe the actions and all that?
The mobs is like okay. if you play Dynasty Warrior, when you look at their soldier, they just hit like one time, and then it's the same animation. So that's how we do to our mods.
I
Yeah.
see. All right. Sorry. Right. So, how would you describe your experience in working with your team in developing the game?
Ah, just stress.
Very stressful.
Very stress.
Any
And then a lot of problem, a lot of,
communication
do you mean
problems?
mine or this game? My
Uh,
problem or this game?
there's a lot like
I
conflicting
think,
opinions.
yeah, if overall it's just very stressed and then some misconversation, misunderstanding, and then a lot of bugs, even though we fix it and then another new bugs come in, yeah,
Uh,
that's
a lot of
that's how it goes.
that's
It is what it is.
All right. So I mean, with that said, I guess the next question is your biggest challenge. So what of those? Which part of those experience was the hardest one for you to?
The animation.
Ah.
Confirm the animation, the character animation
I
is
see.
it's just hard. Because we need to time it frame by frame, and then some of the part, even though if I want to move my hand right right here, but then you still need to add a lot of frames
I
to make
see.
it look smooth. And then first of all, if you want to make animation, you just have to know the principle animation of principle.
Ah.
Yeah.
See. So which software do you use for the animation mostly?
3ds Max mostly.
How was your experience working in it? Was it, despite how hard is it, was it okay?
At first very hard, but once you keep on try, you feel like very easy.
Practice makes perfect. Huh?
Mm.
All right. So with that said, any final notes to our viewers?
Any final notes to
Words,
the
any
viewer?
final words or anything you want to say?
Uh, nothing.
Okay, so thank you for the interview. Please come and check out Into the Unknown at FYP2, Area 51 Lab. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thoughts? Uh, excuse me. Yep. Uh, are you one of you the developers for this game?
Yeah,
All right. Would you mind doing an interview for our viewers? Face the camera. Right. So first of all, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your game and your role in it.
okay. I'm QS. So I'm the co-second designer of the game.
Uh huh.
And our game, Afterlife, is about an alien exploring another alien civilization. So you're here in search. You're like a treasure hunter explorer kind of thing. So you're here in search of this alien core in their planet, and then so when you arrive, you find like everything's abandoned. You don't know why. So that's why you're here to explore and find out.
Any reason why you wanted to use an alien exploring another alien, or rather than just human exploring another alien?
So human exploring aliens, that's kind of like the common
Cliche,
thing,
yeah.
yeah. So why not go a level deeper? It's also a bit of quite a challenge lah, but you know.
So, how did you form the initial concept of like alien, come up with an alien with this game?
Okay, so because when like coming up with ideas for the game, right, we wanted to take in everyone's interests and everything. So I think one of the points was language.
Oh.
So language, naturally you come up with alien languages, and how do you transfer information?
So you guys are making new languages for the game?
Initially it was like that,
helping
but it
players.
kind of simplified throughout the process.
So I'm guessing based on that you have the players like decipher those languages throughout the game? Or do they know?
That was the initial concept. Now today it's more into light, because light in a way is also a form
Ah.
of information.
I see. All right. So with that said, what do you think players will enjoy the most about your game?
I think you will really enjoy the visuals, the environment and everything. Just take it in, take it easy as you enjoy, stroll it through.
So how would you describe the environment, the sci-fi, and the process in making it?
Oh, the process of making it.
Yeah, just a little bit about the process.
Process, well, I have to thank my artist here for that.
Hi. Yeah. What is the question?
So first of all, just introduce yourself and then
Oh,
tell us.
my name is Mingle. You can call me KML also. I am the art lead in this team. Yeah.
So the question was, just tell us a little bit about the process in making the art.
Normally, okay, need to spend a lot of time to research like how the alien life, and then how we should credit the asset to make sure it look like it's very alien. Yeah. Even we want to research some sci-fi like sci-fi term also. Yeah, but we realizing something lah. So is it alien must be using a sci-fi? Maybe we can make some the black magic also. Yeah.
So like mixing aliens with like
Yeah,
other themes,
right.
it's not just sci-fi. I see.
Yeah, right.
So, excuse me, was there any particular inspiration, like media you used to make the art? Like, is there any particular media, like game, movie, or anything that you use as like a focus for your making your art, like as inspiration?
Basically inside the art station. Yeah.
Ah.
And then yeah, mostly it's art station. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
Take in a lot of concepts from a lot of other sci-fi movies like Star Wars and all that.
Ah. Alright. So the next question is, how would you describe your experience in developing the game with your team?
Ooh, tough but rewarding lah.
Tough. So what makes you say tough?
Because the early stages was very rough, a lot of planning and then scrapping the concept, starting over again. So just trying to keep everyone together.
I see. So there's like a lot of like not sure which concept to follow.
Yeah, early on was like that. Then later on it's just refining,
I see.
finding like how do we deliver that information to the player.
So, all right. So based on all the toughness and the stress, which one do you think is the biggest challenges? The bugs, or miscommunication with your team, or just like we are reinventing the concept of the game?
Biggest challenges would be on the design side actually. So the level design, the tutorials,
see,
we have all
because-
the mechanics, but how do we communicate that mechanic?
It is a puzzle game, so it's quite
Yeah.
hard to come up with those.
So yeah, that's how we ended up.
All right, I think that's all. So one last thing, any final words to our viewers? Anything to say?
Come try other life. So yeah, hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
All right, so thank you for the interview. This from QS, and please check out Other Life in FYP2 in Jingle Mingle 2022. All right, thank you. Up. Excuse me, is any one of you one of the developers for this game? Would you mind doing an interview for our viewers? Yep.
Right, sure.
All right. So first of all, just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your game and your role in it.
Okay, my name is Nazarul Vian, and I'm the level designer of the game. And basically, the game is a roguelike dungeon crawler shooter with a gacha mechanics in it. Yes.
Ah, wow, gotcha.
Yes, gacha. Everyone loves gacha.
Any
Right?
premium currency?
Not for now. Yeah, you can at least get it from killing the enemy, you know.
Ah, okay.
But there was, plans maybe.
Future commercial.
Future, yeah, future
Understandable.
commercial interest. Yes.
Smart move. All right. So how did you first come up with the initial concept of the game?
The game was actually like all the way back in GPS 2, I think.
Oh.
So it was based on a game called Jewel of Hope.
Oh.
It was another roguelike game, but I wanted to make it into a modern twist in FYP and make it a bit more polished. So this is how it came to be.
So it's from your past game in GPS.
Not mine actually, it's one of the other
one
team
of the other
members one.
teams,
Yeah, I just
so-
got recruited in to help.
So it's just inspiration.
Yeah, it's inspiration, yeah.
I see. Okay. So what do you think players will most enjoy about the game?
I hope it's the references and the weapons.
References.
Because like, if you notice the enemy kinda, because the concept of the game is about
I
game
see.
developers is like lazy,
Ah.
So they kinda, steal people's idea and put it in.
So is the gacha rates very friendly? How would you say? How many percent? Your
I can't say,
SSRs?
NDA.
Oh, okay. I see. All right. So with that said, how would you describe your experience in developing the game with your team?
It was great actually because like we went through a lot of iteration. Like it was 1 full month of reiterating the whole game because like we had like one of the lecturer like directly oversees us, and because he wants it in a certain way, so we kind of have to
Like
make
match
it in
it
a way
to
that he likes and the
So-
way that we wanted for it to go as well.
Could you tell us more about the way that he wanted?
He wanted like pop culture references
Ah.
and stuff like that, and modern and marketable. The
That's,
fighters are marketable.
because that's your core experience.
yeah. So yeah, it was a bit difficult getting to that level of making him happy about the game, but I think we kind of did okay.
I mean, it was so it's quite different from the rest of the team. Was most of them said it was quite stressful. Any
I
experience
think
like
one
that?
of the reason why is like I bash if you don't know, like we have a shit ton of designer. We have at least like 11 designers.
Wow,
Yeah.
alright.
So like our team alone have like 5 designers. Yeah. So like it was pretty well managed because all of us basically kind of know each other. Of course, there's a bit of some stuff going on, some conflict happening. Usual, right? Yeah.
I
but
mean, yeah, 5 designers is there.
Yeah.
Five.
yeah, nothing between the designers actually. That's all okay. We all have our roles. We all know what to do. Just behind some stuff.
Surprise is usually with more designs. There's like more concepts clashing. No.
Not really, because like the concept was already established way
So you
before.
all like agree on it.
Yeah,
already,
like, there was originally a core team, like with like 3 designers. So the other 2 designers came in after that, and they just worked on the UI and the enemy, while everyone else did work on the main concept. So basically, the previous designer knew what they were going into already. So there wasn't much conflict to be had. Plus, like, we're all kind of close friends, so it was barely any conflict among the designers.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty rad. I mean, with that said, was there like what would you say is the biggest challenges, like bugs, the art maybe, or miscommunication?
Is a challenge for everyone, obviously. Like for miscommunication, like we learned our lesson all the way from like GPS 2 about miscommunication, and we made an entire dictionary of keywords and what it means. What
Oh,
I
wow.
should reiterate.
So you guys have your own code, lah.
Yeah, we have our own codes
Wow,
basically.
okay.
So like, I think there was because of the like a lot of pre-planning and pre-design going on early on. We managed to avoid a lot of conflicts, but the issue mostly comes in terms of executing it, because some of the artists wanted to show his stuff a lot. So like, it works of course, see how flashy this is, but like. It does take a bit of development time for him to that, so we kind of have to cut and compromise here and there.
I see.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it's a very efficient way for design with all
Yeah,
the
for design, it's
pre-planning.
very
So most
efficient.
of it was just very technical, like art and tech, lah.
Yeah, but they did a great job, obviously.
Yeah,
Like,
looks
yeah.
very nice, very colorful.
Yeah.
Uh,
It to be that way.
So this is just a personal request. Could I see one gacha pool or anything? Could you show our viewers? So try explain.
Basically, like you actually there's like 5 coins here. The player always starts with 5, so you can go bring weapons or artifact. Artifact is basically power-ups. Weapons is where the main stuff at. Okay. The issue is like we don't have SSR. We don't have this kind of rarity class at the moment because it make it a bit too unbalanced.
I
But
see.
basically, you got all the weapons. It's kind of rare, but it's kind of powerful. But you can combine all this to make even stronger weapons, obviously. So yeah, that's just how the gacha works. There's no SSR at the moment. Yeah, at the
Interesting. All right. Okay. So with that, any final words to our viewers? Last message.
I have no idea actually.
It's fine. If you don't, I mean, just say check out the game.
Just please check out the game.
Yeah.
Yes,
Alright.
yes, yes. We spent hours doing it. Let's check it out.
So what was the name of your game again?
Escape RNG.
All right. So yep. Thank you for your time. So please check out SKRNG in Area 51 Lab. All right. Thank you. All right. So, do you mind doing an interview? All right. Okay. So first of all, just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your role and about your game.
So my name is Joshua, and so the game is End of the Line. It's a time loop game about a man stuck on an exploding train. So the aim of the game is to try and find out what's causing the time loop and stop the train from exploding. I myself am a designer, so I designed some of the puzzles, the levels, as well as and I wrote the dialogue.
I see. So time loop, that's interesting. So is there? Could you describe some of the field mechanics related to the time loop narrative?
The key thing is the fact that information is retained throughout loops. So there's also a journal system to help with that. So as a player completes puzzles and loops, the world may completely reset. Both the character and the player still remember stuff, so it's up to them to kind of.
I see. So it's like, so how did you guys come up with the initial concept of this game?
Well, the initial concept was kind of different. It involves the player actually getting off at train stations and getting out, moving around. But how did it come around? I believe it initially came around because so the two who came up with the idea were playing a lot of time loop games, and there was one, so stuff like 12 minutes and after a while to help inspire the time loop part. And then the other guy who helped it was also watching a movie called Source Code. And that, yeah, was another primary driver for the whole
So a
train
lot-
as well as the loop thing.
A lot of media involved.
Yep.
So, what do you think players will most enjoy about your game?
I think players will most enjoy trying to solve all the puzzles and put everything together to try and get through the game.
So there's like a very strong narrative line in it, lah.
Yep.
Is there like multiple endings or is linear?
We had planned for multiple endings, but yeah, due to time constraints,
yeah.
ended up being
That's fair.
quite linear. Yeah.
So how would you describe the story? Any like big twists or just give us a little tease?
As the game is right now, there's not many like super narrative bits, but nah, it's quite linear.
So it's
actually.
mostly on the gameplay.
Yeah.
I see.
We tried to maintain some of the narrative parts, but yeah, for the most part, it's the gameplay.
Yeah, this is the most important part.
Yep.
Okay, so how would you describe your experience in developing this game?
I'd say it was good. It was a very good learning experience. While I think overall it was quite a lot of work. I think we managed it quite well, and with a lot of help from our lecturers and mentors. Yeah, it was
So
very fun.
overall fun.
Mhm.
Overall fun. So I mean, with the relationship working with him, do you think it was quite like very friendly, or was it like super stressed, and was there like a lot of miscommunication?
I mean, there were a lot of stressful moments, but most of us are like close friends already, lah. So it was
So like, there's
friendly and
also
okay
there's
environment.
like small fights between friends,
Not really fights. It was just with
disagreements, or like
it was more the stress of deadlines and requirements and all that.
I see.
No like super.
Nothing very conflicting. Everyone's like know the concept, lah.
Yeah. Everyone was more or less on the same page with everything.
So I'm guessing the deadlines are one of your biggest. So the next question would be, what was the biggest challenges?
Scope would be our biggest one. So yeah, in terms of ideas, we had a lot of stuff planned out and all that, but time constraint.
Time and content, right?
Yeah, time, content, resources. We didn't have that much to be able to do it within our time, so yeah, that would be the biggest
I see.
challenge issue.
So yep. Thank you for your time. Any final words for the viewers?
Please come and play End of the Line. Yeah.
All right. So thank you, Joshua. So please come and check out End of the Line at FYP 2 Area 51 Lab. Thank you. And I think that's all of the game. So yeah. So we'll be taking a more break until like 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours until 2 o'clock, and we'll continue with the rest of the games from the lab. So thank you for watching.
Okay, well done, guys. I think it's fine. Yeah,